Welcome to Julie and Bill's wedding. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming today. You'll have noticed that we custom ordered a beautiful day. By contrast to what we had yesterday, we are just thrilled. And even more thrilled that you all could be with us here today. I'd like to take the chance to thank you on behalf of Julie and Bill and tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to chat with you all for just a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to chat with Julie and Bill for just a little bit, and then we're going to get on to the main event and see these two married today. But before we get into any of that, I'd like to ask you to take a minute and just join me in prayer, would you? Lord God, I thank you for this beautiful day. I thank you for this day of celebration that you've blessed with wonderful weather. I thank you mostly for Julie and Bill and for all those who have come to encourage them to share in the joy of this day. And I want to pray, God, that you would provide them today a foundation of joy and hope, encouragement and love that will last for the rest of their lives as they're united together. We thank you and we pray together in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Well, you may not be aware of it, but you've come to see a miracle today. And it's not the miracle that you're thinking. You see, in the book of Genesis, God has written that a man shall leave his mother and his father and shall cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one. So the miracle that you see today is God taking two and making them into one. It's not every day that you get to see a miracle. Later in the New Testament, the Apostle Paul takes this quotation and adds to it, and he says that this is a picture of God's love for us. He says, I am talking about Christ in the church. And when you see Bill and Julie before you today, you are seeing a picture of God's great love for us. Now, many of you have known Bill and Julie a long time, hence the laughter about the miracle. But what I want you to know is that this is not a mere formality. This is a celebration, a great celebration of love and commitment. And we are so thrilled that all of you are here. It's a celebration of the love that Julie and Bill have for each other, and that all of you have seen blossom and develop over time. I thank you for coming to join the party. Now, I'm going to say just a little bit to Julie and Bill, and I invite you to listen in just for a couple of minutes. I can't describe to the two of you how absolutely thrilled I am to be here for you today and to see what God is doing in your lives. It is just a tremendous joy. And I would like to read to you a brief passage from Scripture, which I also had the chance to read just a few weeks ago at Mom and Dad's 50th anniversary, because I think it is very, very appropriate right now. This comes from Paul's letter to the Corinthians, and many of you will know it by heart, or at least have heard it before. Paul writes and says that love is patient, love is kind, and is not jealous. Love does not brag and is not arrogant. It does not act unbecomingly. It does not seek its own. Is not provoked. Does not take into account the wrong suffering. Does not rejoice in unrighteousness, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. Now that's a pretty tall order right there. I think you'll agree. And there will be days in the future when you won't feel like living up to that tall order. But what I want to encourage you with now is when those days come, to remember, first of all, that love is a commitment. It's not just a feeling. The feelings are great when they're there. But love is first and foremost a commitment to action in the best interest of another person. And that's what you're doing today. You're making your commitment public before God and before these friends. I want you to remember also, when those days come, that you don't have to do it on your own. You don't have to just gut it out and tough it through. You see, the author of love, the God who created marriage, is there to help you every moment of every day. In His Word, He writes that all who seek Him will find Him. That's a promise. He writes that any who ask for wisdom of Him will receive it. That is a promise. And He writes that whatever He calls us to do, He enables us to do. That's a promise. God is faithful. He keeps His promises. He enables us to do whatever He calls us to do, and that starts right at the beginning of calling us to faith. There's a passage in Paul's letter to the Ephesians that says, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, gift of God, not a result of works, that no one should boast. You see, we can be saved by grace. Grace is something you can't earn and you don't deserve. It's just given to you. He says it's a gift. And because it's a gift, all we have to do is accept it. There's nothing you can do to earn a gift. You can't make a gift better than what it is. It's just a gift. You just have to receive it. You see, Jesus has done everything that's necessary for us to know Him, to love Him, to have an eternal life with Him, and have all the strength and the resources that we need to be there for each other, and for the two of you to be able to love each other the way that you desire to do. And you see, once that gift has been received, a gift of grace, God's Holy Spirit comes to live within us to empower us to be all that He's created us to be. And that is very, very good news. Because it's not just eternal salvation, it's help for right now. If there's anyone here today that has not yet received this gift of eternal life from the Lord our God, I'd encourage you to receive it. Do it now, don't wait. There's so much that you can miss if you haven't made that decision. Okay, that's the end of my preachy bit. Now we get to the good part. I'd like to ask, who gives this woman to be wedded to this man?
Her mother and I.
I've got a couple of questions for you guys. Do you, Bill, take Julie to be your lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, in sickness and in health, for richer or for poorer, to love, honor, and cherish, and forsaking all others, to remain faithful to her for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Do you, Julie, take Bill to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, in sickness and in health, for richer for poorer, to love, honor, and cherish, and forsaking all others, to remain faithful to him for as long as you both shall live? I ask you to repeat your vows after me. Take you Bill first. Repeat after me. I, Bill, take you, Julie,
I, Bill, take you, Julie,
as my friend in love,
as my friend in love,
beside me and apart from me,
beside me and apart from me,
in laughter and in tears,
in laughter and in tears,
in conflict and tranquility,
in conflict and tranquility,
asking that you be no other than yourself,
asking that you be no other than yourself,
loving what I know of you,
loving what I know of you,
trusting what I do not know of you,
trusting what I do not yet know yet,
in all the ways that life may find
in
us.
all the ways that life may find us.
Best of you. Julie, I give you this ring
Julie, I give you this ring,
as a symbol of my love,
a symbol of my vow,
and with all that I am,
and with all that I am,
and all that I have,
and all that I have,
I honor you.
I honor you. In the name of God.
Julie, repeat after me. I, Julie, take you, Bill,
I, Julie, take you, Bill,
as my friend in love,
as my friend and love,
beside me and apart from me,
beside me and apart from me,
in laughter and in tears,
in laughter and in tears,
in conflict and tranquility,
in conflict and tranquility,
asking that you be no other than yourself,
asking that you be no other than yourself,
loving what I know of you,
loving what I know of you,
trusting what I do not know yet,
trusting what I do not know yet,
in all the ways that life may find us.
in all the ways that life may find us.
Bill, I give you this ring as a symbol of my love,
Bill, I give you this ring as a symbol of my vow,
and with all that I am, and all that I have,
all that I am and all that I have,
I honor you.
I honor you.
In the name of God. Don't you make this your bride. It is my great privilege before God and before this gathering to present for the very first time Mr. and Mrs. William Heenan.
Better late than never. I also want to say thank you to the hotel staff because they've done an awesome job. And the photographers, they've been like ants this afternoon.
Everywhere.
I was told by Bill that I had to keep this short and sweet. He actually threatened me at one point. And I couldn't talk about school or certain places that you live in San Francisco. Well, we'll see what we can do. Robin Williams, a very famous guy from San Francisco, once said that the older he gets, the fewer friends that he has. And, you know, the paparazzi thing notwithstanding, I think I finally appreciated what he meant, and that's that good friends are always there through thick and thin. And, you know, Bill's around there, he's still putting up with me. And I think that actually speaks to what it is being a good wife and a good spouse. And just to know that I wish you guys the best. I will always be there for you. Ruthie and I will always be there for you guys. And best of luck in your life's journey. So now that I am done forming sentences, and I also want to say thanks too to Gary because he did a great job up there. I'm not going to fall off the wagon. I'm jumping clear. So watch out on the dance floor.
We're not done with Bill. We're going to keep him up here for one more. Another hand for Bill Lambert, ladies and gentlemen.
Happy Julie.